Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Bitcoin Moneymaker. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the news, especially regarding the important stablecoin USDT from Tether. And they are now most likely going to be required to open up their balance books. So we're going to be looking at that. And of course, as usual, we're also going to look at the Bitcoin price. So let's go. So welcome back to the video, and we are going to start with the 4-hour chart. As you can see already on the screen for Bitcoin, where not a whole lot has happened. We did have a bit of a sell-off yesterday, but we remain in this sideways trend, if you will. And I don't think a lot is going to change here until probably the 16th of June, where the Federal Reserve will announce their interest rates again. But other than that, you can see here the 50 EMA line giving us a lot of resistance. Yesterday, we did fall again to our support line, which is becoming a very strong support. You can see it comes from this previous low down here, and that's exactly what we retested yesterday, falling down to around $28,600. If we were to fall below that, then you could definitely see the price falling down to this previous area around $28,000 or $27,800 more or less. So pay attention to that level, put it on your chart if you want. Very, very important that we don't fall below there. Yesterday also the Asian markets, good thing at least they didn't push the price any lower. On the 1-hour chart, we have a bit of a drop in the price, but not really anything of concern. It was $500 only and quickly recover, even forming a V formation, as you can see here. So important would be for us to go and stay above the important 20 and 13 EMA lines here, that we don't fall any farther from there, and that we get above the $29,500 line over here, which you can see was already a couple of times support in the past. Here, also here, we did go under it quickly, but got above it very quickly. We do have the 50 EMA line, which coincides with this level as well, so that we have to pay attention to. On the daily chart, not a whole lot of changes. The picture remains still very bearish. One has to be honest here. Even people said that this was a sign that the price was going to go up. We're wrong. I mentioned important is that we managed to get above these important EMA lines, and that wouldn't allow us to go any farther up, but rather remain here and maybe lightly climb our way back up is what I mentioned, and that's exactly what is happening here. You can see we also tested the lower support line of this falling wedge. Also here, when we zoom out, you can see very clear this pattern. Once here and once over here, 2 touch points for resistance, and then down here 3 touch points for support. By the way, if you're interested in trading and you don't have a provider yet, feel free to click on the link in the description for Femex. That way you can also support the work that I do, and there's a very interesting bonus there if you sign up for their service. So I totally recommend it. So if Bitcoin manages to bounce up from this region over here, then we have a lot of resistance at this point, because this is the 800 line right in this direction. And so we definitely will, meet that resistance there if we manage to bounce up. And then of course we have to see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Also, even today, especially today, it is Thursday, and in the last couple of weeks, it has been a pattern that every Thursday there's very bad performance in the markets. However, yesterday, the day before, and Monday, we actually had bad days, and now the question will be if this time it would be different for Thursday, if Thursday is going to be better than in previous weeks. And please let me know if you also think that the price is going to fall down to the $25,000 level. Now let's go over and have a look at Ethereum as well. Let's go ahead and bring up the graphic for that. And you can see here on the daily chart, not a whole lot has changed either. We are struggling to form what it could be a double bottom. And that, of course, would be the best case scenario. You can see that here in the 4-hour chart that it looks like we're trying to do that with Ethereum. Unfortunately, this low level here at $1,953 didn't hold, but you can see right now we are exactly on that level, trying to push upward even more. So that could be the path that brings us above our 13 and 20 EMA lines here. But of course, that all depends on how Bitcoin performs. If Bitcoin drops or has a correction, then Ethereum will do so as well. The support for Ethereum is down here at $1,850 more or less. So keep that in mind. And right now you have to be very careful also, especially with the altcoins, because they are not performing well at all. In fact, when Bitcoin drops, they're going back to drop it to that phase of dropping 3 times, 4 times more than what Bitcoin does. So be very, very careful not to be making risky trades there. Okay, so now let's go and have a look at the news. An important thing for today is the USDT, the stable coin from Tether, is now in a legal battle where they are going to be forced, most likely, and there's not a whole lot a lot of points here, so I'll go over them quickly. They're most likely going to be obligated to open up their books and prove that indeed every Ether or every stable coin that they've created and put in the market is indeed backed by $1. And there has been some issues already regarding this very situation. Of course, Tether has gave back as an argument that doing so could be damaging to their business. But the reason why the court is doing this, and is a court from New York, the Supreme Court from New York, the one that is forcing them to do this. The reason why they're doing that is because in the past there was already a situation where they had created some extra Ether units or coins, stable coins, but they were not really backed by US dollars. So right now, and this is exactly the reason why they are required to do so now. And there we would have to be very careful, of course, and see what comes out of that, because if we were to find out that indeed they don't have every single coin backed by a US dollar, and then everything starts to collapse, then you could pretty much say that because Bitcoin and Cardano and all of these other coins are also connected to this, if that were to collapse, then of course that means pretty much the crypto market would be over. So it's important that they do open up their books, and that they if everything is fine, if they open up their books and say, yeah, sure, every single one of these coins has an equivalence in fiat currency, the US dollar, then that should not be an issue at all. And this is not financial advice to anybody. However, I wanted to mention it to you. If you feel safer, at least by Femex, you could exchange your stable coin to actual US dollars if you want to sort of do this and then just wait and see what happens. Then that's definitely a possibility, at least at Femex. I don't know about the other ones, if they have that, the other exchanges, if they have that possibility, but you definitely have that opportunity with Femex. So now, and this is what you can see, and the reason why I bring all this up is because you can see recently we had this panic in the recent days where we went to 94 cents in price. Right now, of course, we are at 0.999, so we went back to the level where where they should be at. But recently, because of the way that everything is playing out and how the markets are reacting and the uncertainty of it all, then news like this are definitely worth looking at, definitely something that we should also keep in mind, because now it's not just how the other coins are performing, but also the stable coins. Also in the news, Binance, the biggest exchange in the world, has now applied for a license to do business in Germany. That, of course, would be very, very interesting and very good for the crypto world, just because that means the other exchanges would follow suit and also come to the biggest economy in Europe. So good news there if it comes through. 13 points is what we have today for the crypto fear and greed index, which means we are still moving in this 14 to 8 point range, and I really don't see this changing anytime soon, unless somehow a miracle situation took place and changed everything. But anyway, that is everything that I have prepared for you guys today. Hopefully this can give you some clarity as to all the things that are happening for today, and we'll be back tomorrow again with another update. Have a great day. Bye bye.